It must have been after snow. Not a big snow, but some snow. My dad was in the hospital. I can't remember what had happened to him, but I think he had hurt his back. My sister Penny lived down the street about, a mile, and had a couple of children and her husband. And my mom always laid on her bed, on the end of her bed, with her face facing her window, reading true story magazines. Well, all of us kids were home, except Penny. The oldest one, let's see, Hurley was only 16. So the oldest one there would have been 16 or 17. As we sat there, we heard a rap on the window. I think it was on my mom's bedroom window. And she said, "You boys, cut that out." And everybody said, "We're in the house, all of us." The next thing we heard another rap on another window. And another rap on another window. I'm sorry, am I doing that? I'm probably messing up. And another rap on another window. And it just kept happening. Well, everybody shut the lights off. And then we didn't hear anything for a while. And the phone rang, and it was my sister. And it was going on at her house. And her husband wasn't home yet, but he got home shortly after that. And he called up, and my brother Doyle went with him to look around the neighborhood to see what was going on. Well, after they left, my mom turned over, the lights were still out, my mom turned over the couch, and us four little ones, Davy, Debbie, me, and Marky, were told all to get under the couch. Now, my brother Hurley had his .22, and he was walked behind my mom all the time. Just walked behind her. And we didn't hear nothing for a while, and then suddenly, right across the porch, they still had chain gangs in those days, and you heard the chain and the ball, the chain and the ball, all the way across the porch. And nobody said a word because it was just so spooky. And then you heard it go back. The chain and the ball, the chain and the ball, the chain and the ball. I can't remember if we heard it go down the stairs. I don't think so. So, they would have had to have picked it up to go down the stairs. Then we didn't hear anything for what seemed like a long while. My mom, I thought she was just the bravest woman in the world when she did this. She turned on the porch light, opened the door, and walked out on the porch and looked around. Hurley crouched down behind her with the gun, walking behind her. Now they turned around to come back in, and Hurley's still behind her, and my mother screamed. And he was coming through the dining room windows. A man was halfway through, she said. When she screamed, he fell out the window. Hurley went to shoot, and she grabbed the gun, and she said, "No, you might hit the kids," because we were all over the place. We thought this was so exciting. And we called the police. When the police came, I swear to you, the only thing they found was deer tracks. Now, we had heard the legend of the Deerman a lot. Down at the end of our street, down like a back alley street of a country road, almost in the woods. They were almost covered by the woods. If you went by there and you didn't know they were there, you would have never seen them. Was the strangest couple of people. That they were circus people. As far as I know, I'd always been told they were circus people. And they lived in a tent, and they cooked outside. And my sister and I had gone over there twice because we were witnessing. And we had stopped over there twice. And I remember seeing a little boy. But I don't remember if I just saw his face. But anyways, the story goes that their little boy was half boy, half deer. And that was always the legend of the Deerman. Now, we never heard anything else about the police finding anybody that had been to our house. All I know is the only tracks that were outside that window were deer tracks.
What about Crow Island, though? It was, I know I grew up around here too, and I heard of Crow Island, but it was kind of like,
it was way out. I mean, it wasn't way out, but it was out far enough from anybody in the city that you didn't go out there much, and it was the end. It had been kind of deserted, and it was wooded and wheat fields, and very few houses. So we were really kind of out there alone.
When would it have been?
Well,
60s, 70s.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I graduated in '71. So if you go back 10 years before that, I was born in '53. We moved out there when I was 5. 56, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Somewhere in the 60s, 65, something like that.
Anyways, not that it might have anything to do with it, but you said that you found lots of Indian artifacts and stuff like that.
Oh my, yes. We did.
Could the Deerman have anything to do with it?
I never thought of that. But, oh my goodness.
Frankie.
She shouldn't even be looking at these pictures. These are pictures
Indians.
No, I never thought of that. But I don't know if I even have things mixed up in my head, because I barely remember those people down at the end. But I remember that legend. Those people we only saw twice. I think they were Indian. I always said circuit people, and that's wrong. That's wrong. I think they were Indian people. I do. That's a big possibility. I remember they were dark complected, dark hair.
What'd their house look like? Do you remember?
It was
ramshackle, or?
It was half tent, half house, but just a big box. Just a big wood box, like a big wood box, and then they had taken like a tent to put on the front of it.
Cool.
Yeah, my dad used to take them fish and stuff all the time. I think he actually dropped off a lot of food and witnessed to them a lot.
What they dress like? Did they dress like normal people?
I don't remember. I don't remember except to say that I don't think so. I think everything they did had to do with the land. And I do think like they wore skins and stuff. They didn't just wear like skins for skirts. I mean, they had trousers on, and but I remember they were poor, but they knew what they were doing. I mean, they didn't have any money, but they knew how to live without any money. And they were happy with that. They were perfectly happy. They may have been fruit growers. They may have been people.
Oh, like migrant workers?
Like migrant workers. I don't know if my dad were here, would know. I don't remember, and I don't think any of the kids remember them because they just weren't attentive.
What about
I'll ask though. Mark might.
What about Bloody Bones? Was he around that same time?
Bloody Bones. Bloody Bones was a story through our school. Bloody Bones was down after when you came off of our street. And Crow Island was like so far away because it was all wheat fields and stuff. And then you come up Hack Road, and there was down school. And once you got across Outer Drive, or even this part of Outer Drive, there was all those houses. They're still down there. A lot of those houses. And those were all black people, And I grew up with all of them. But their families had been there a while, a few generations. And that's where Bloody Bones came from them.
Oh, he was black?
No, but it was a story from that black neighborhood. And because there's wooded area. There's so much wooded area there then. And I don't know. I forgot. I can't even think of the story tonight. I don't remember. What did I tell you? Did I ever write it? You probably remember it better than I do. Yeah. And lived in the woods. Yeah. And he lived in the woods. And no, there was hobo that came to the woods to live. And the story goes, he camped out in the woods, and he went in for supplies. He walked in for supplies. Oh gosh, I don't remember it now. I should have wrote it down when I remembered it.
Well, we can do that.
I just remember Bloody Bones is going to get you tonight. It was like on the wind, and he could hear it. Oh, I don't know if I ever remember it again. You should have took it down when I told you. I think I've lost this one.
We'll do that one another time.
Sleep without saying her prayer.